Welcome to episode 7 of the Learning AI Today Explainer series. Okay, let's dive into this. Look, if you've heard of Claude, but you're only using that standard chat interface on their website, you're seeing maybe 20% of what this platform actually is. Today, we're revealing the other 80%, because that is where the real world-changing productivity lives. We're breaking down the entire Claude ecosystem as of May 2026, the whole shebang. Every product, every interface, every integration. What actually happens when an AI graduates from just being a simple chatbot to a fully autonomous digital workforce? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to understand the system better than most developers out there, and you'll realize something absolutely crucial. You are not late to the AI revolution. Understanding this right now puts you completely ahead of the curve. Just think about the modern workforce right now. A developer builds an entire feature from a single sentence in a terminal. A business analyst crafts an insanely complex financial model in Excel using nothing but natural language. A marketer, they turn a massive spreadsheet into a polished board presentation in like 90 seconds. And a founder with a literally zero coding experience automates 3 hours of daily administrative headaches straight from their desktop. So what's the common thread here? Every single one of these people is using the exact same underlying AI, Claude. But they're achieving massive productivity using entirely different tools and interfaces that are tailored specifically to their distinct workflows. Now, Anthropic's rise has been nothing short of historic. Since Dario and Daniela Amodei founded it back in 2021, the market response has just been explosive. They pioneered this philosophy called constitutional AI. Instead of just training the model on human feedback, which, let's be honest, can be super inconsistent, they gave the model a strict set of written principles to guide its reasoning right from the ground up. And man, the enterprise world noticed immediately. We're talking early massive investments by Amazon and Google to a staggering $15 billion backing from Microsoft and NVIDIA in late 2025, leading right up to a mind-bending $380 billion valuation in February 2026.
But hey, that valuation isn't just hype. Listen to this number. $19 billion. In just 14 months, Anthropic's annualized revenue went from $1 billion to $19 billion. It is basically a vertical line of growth, literally one of the steepest in the entire history of enterprise software. Today, 8 of the Fortune 10 run on Claude. In fact, its reasoning engine is so deeply capable that Anthropic actually had to revoke OpenAI's access to Claude Code back in August 2025. Why? Because their own rival engineers were relying on it so heavily they violated the terms of service. No way, right?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the secret to this rapid enterprise adoption really lies in the sheer scale of memory we're dealing with in the foundational Claude.ai product. Think of context windows as, well, how much information the AI can hold in its working brain at one single time. While GPT-4 maxes out at 128,000 tokens, Claude Opus versions 4.6 and higher, they completely shatter that ceiling at 1 million tokens. This means you aren't just uploading a single document anymore. You can drop in an entire corporate library, a full year's worth of executive emails, or a massive sprawling code base, and process the whole thing simultaneously in a single session.
And that foundational chat is powered by 3 distinct models, which you should really think of as specific tools tailored for specific jobs. Haiku 4.5, that's your speed demon, built for real-time applications and high-volume processing. Sonnet 4.6 is the daily workhorse, fast, incredibly smart, and perfect for your everyday tasks. But then, there's Opus 4.7. This is the heavy lifter. It possesses an incredible 14.5-hour autonomous task completion horizon. So what does that actually mean for you? It means you can assign it a highly complex, multi-step engineering problem at 5 p.m., log off for the day, and it will spend the entire night reasoning, coding, and problem solving. When you wake up the next morning, boom, the finished solution is just sitting there waiting for you.
That incredible sustained reasoning power brings us perfectly to the developer revolution. This is Claude Code. Let me be very, very clear here. It is not an autocomplete tool. It is a fully autonomous coding agent that lives directly inside a developer's terminal. Imagine you want to migrate a legacy database. Instead of hunting through thousands of lines of old code and debugging syntax errors for hours on end, you just describe the task in plain English. Claude Code instantly reads thousands of files in your codebase to gain full context. It plans the entire implementation, writes the new code, runs the tests, automatically fixes any failures it encounters along the way, and then opens a pull request. You just describe the outcome. It literally does all the heavy lifting. And this tool alone has been a massive driver of that vertical revenue growth we just talked about.
Claude Code hit $1 billion in annual recurring revenue in just 6 months. I mean, it scaled even faster than ChatGPT did at its launch. But as you can imagine, having thousands of autonomous agents looping for 14 hours a day burns an incredible amount of compute. To handle that staggering server load, Anthropic formed a massive compute partnership with SpaceX in May 2026. And thanks to that infrastructure upgrade, they recently doubled the rate limits for Claude Code across all their paid plans. But Anthropic recognized a pretty critical reality. Most of the world does not live in a developer terminal, right? So they launched Claude Cowork in January 2026, and this perfectly captures the difference in how we all work. Claude Code is for developers. It gives full, uninhibited system access to write software. Cowork, on the other hand, is a securely sandboxed desktop app designed specifically for non-technical professionals. It introduces this brilliant new concept called vibe working. Imagine dumping a chaotic folder of messy expense receipts, a half-finished vendor contract, and a completely disorganized strategy document straight onto your desktop. You just tell the AI, hey, clean this up and prep it for my 3 p.m. meeting. No detailed prompting, no crazy formatting instructions. It simply understands the vibe of what you need and does it safely right there on your machine. Finally, a cure for the corporate administrative headache. Now, whether you're using Code in the terminal or Cowork on the desktop, you want the AI to deeply understand your company's unique DNA. We actually covered the foundational mechanics of this back in episode 4 of our Explainer series. But in short, Claude Skills allow you to teach the AI your entire world. You use a single file, called a skill.md file, to define your brand guidelines, your specific document templates, and your coding conventions. You upload this file exactly once, and it instantly trains the AI across all your tools simultaneously. You'll never have to endlessly re-explain your brand's voice or preferred formatting in a new chat ever again. It's a real game changer. Okay, I want to slow down here for a second because this next development is absolutely monumental. It represents the biggest shift in how everyday work actually gets done. On May 7th, 2026, Claude became seamlessly integrated directly into Microsoft Office. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, they are all generally available right now, with Outlook currently in public beta. And honestly, the best part? If you're already on a paid Claude plan, every single one of these deep integrations is included at absolutely no extra cost. Let's look at how this works in practice. This is Claude for Word. It doesn't just give you some block of text in a sidebar that you have to clumsily copy and paste over. No, Claude acts directly inside your document. Imagine a dense 50-page legal contract. Claude reads the entire thing, finds the 3 potentially risky clauses hidden all the way on page 40, and leaves tracked red line edits right in the margins for your review. You can see its exact reasoning and simply click apply or dismiss for every single edit. It is exactly like having a senior editor living right inside your word processor. And this brilliantly illustrates the feature that changes everything: cross-app context. With Claude for Office, you maintain one continuous, unbroken conversation across entirely different applications. Let's trace a real workflow here. Say you receive a massive, confusing data dump in an Outlook email. Claude triages it instantly. You then switch over to Excel, where Claude automatically builds a comprehensive financial model based on the exact data from that email. Then you just open PowerPoint, and Claude instantly formats those newly crunched numbers into a beautiful, C-suite-ready presentation deck, from your chaotic inbox directly to a polished slide deck, seamlessly, without a single copy and paste. Beyond documents and data, there's visual creation. Launched in April 2026, this is Claude Design. It lives right inside the Claude.ai sidebar. You simply type a prompt describing an app interface or a landing page, and it generates a polished, fully interactive UI prototype. You can refine the colors, adjust the layout using these custom-generated sliders, and even package the whole thing up for a developer to implement, from a blank canvas to a shipped product in one single conversation. The execution of this tool is so flawless that on the exact day it was announced, Figma's stock dropped 7%. And to round out the ultimate power user toolset, we have Claude for Chrome. This extension allows you to automate browser navigation entirely. You can tell Claude to visit a competitor's website, navigate through their complex pricing pages, extract all the relevant live data, and neatly organize it right into a spreadsheet. It actually controls the browser to do your manual research for you. It clicks, it scrolls, it reads, acting as a completely autonomous research assistant right in your browser window. Let's move to and see how this builds into a complete, omnipresent ecosystem. The takeaway here is incredibly clear. Claude is no longer just a destination website you visit occasionally to ask questions. It is a comprehensive, invisible layer for all your work, from the foundational chat for everyday analysis to terminal agents for developers, desktop automation for non-technical users, and those deep, continuous integrations into the Office apps you already use every single day.
So how do you actually implement this today? Let's build your perfect stack. If you're a founder or a non-technical professional watching this, your perfect stack is the Claude.ai chat, the Office add-ins, and Cowork for your files. If you're a developer, you need to install Claude Code in your terminal and build out your skills directory immediately to start offloading your testing. And if you want to be a top 1% power user, you combine Cowork, Skills, and the Office integrations to automate almost your entire digital workflow. The gap between knowing about AI and actually benefiting from it is implementation. I challenge you, look at everything we've just covered. Pick the single product you didn't know about before this explainer and integrate it into your work today. One company, one subscription, 9 different ways to get more done. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you the next time.